What's going on, everybody? This is the Blockchain Backer, bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. Today, we'll take a peek over here at the Bitcoin price chart and the Ethereum price chart, peek around throughout the altcoin market to see what's going on with price action. We're getting to the end of the week. It's been a volatile week as expected after the Federal Reserve did a 50 basis point rate hike. Now pushing the federal funds rate above the 10-year Treasury yield and the 2-year Treasury yield, the first time in the hiking cycle, which of course added a bunch of volatility to the market, including what we saw earlier this week when CPI came out and inflation was less than expected, which would otherwise be seen as positive. But as for the cryptocurrency market, we saw big moves come off of the heights that we saw just a couple of days ago, most notably over here in Ethereum and over here in Bitcoin. Obviously, the rest of the market is red along with these two. But we've been talking about this week, that in this type of structure, that's typically what ends up happening. If this is an accumulation structure, we pointed to how this price level tends to act as resistance, as we see over here on Bitcoin, and as we see over here on Ethereum, and that a pullback is incredibly common. We looked at several examples of this from things like XRP, and how that's what typically happens. Bitcoin's bottom from back in 2018, and Litecoin getting rejected from this level in an accumulation structure that was still bullish, but just because we got back to there, it wasn't quite ready, which is what we talked about quite a bit in the last several videos on this channel. And sure enough, like magic, we end up getting it mixed with narratives and events occurring at just the right time, right? So this week was expected to be very volatile. We've gotten the volatility completely. After being stuck in a range for 13, 14 days, the week is mixed with volatility to both directions, which is what we've talked about all week in all videos. Volatility expected, volatility, volatility. But now it's going to be about seeing this volatility calm down and things start to get boring again. What I'd like to see is some type of support level start to kind of work its way in here, and then we just kind of start creeping for a little while, and then it probably does have another low to end up setting here. And then, like I've talked about this week, that I haven't been posting, thumbnails and titles to be like, imminent breakouts coming, upside, here we go. Because this has been my big thesis of what we've been doing in here, and that we would see a pullback come off of the top of the range. It was that we would move to the top of the range, and then we'd have a pullback off of the range. The last things I'll be looking for in this structure to start becoming like, here we go, it's time to get going, is for volatility to now calm down. Let's get rid of all the volatility. It's typical that we see that during Fed week. It's typical we see it the day leading up to it, the day of it, the day after. Here we are, we're now 2 days after. Yesterday, the Dow Jones was like down 700 points. Today, it's going to open. Right now, it's down 359 points. Yesterday, it was down 764. So the optimistic thing now would be to have a reduction in volatility and to see things get boring again and frustrating again, and then having one more dip, and then imminent breakout on the way. It's mood time. But the first things we need to see is volatility actually start to calm down. So we've gotten all the things that we've been looking for. We wanted to get back to the top of the range. We expected a rejection off of the range. Next up will be absolute boredom, boring, reduced volatility, and grinding. Should this thing continue down further, like say for Ethereum, right, and it goes and takes out that low from there in November 28th and just continues this straight line down, that would probably get a little bit concerning. I'd start questioning this. I wouldn't mind it so much if we were real clean about it and then we got our way back down there. That'd be fine. But if we continue in a straight line down from right here, I'd start getting a little bit more worried because structurally it doesn't look like we're just kind of like doing that final accumulation happening in here. So what are we looking for? At least what am I looking for throughout the weekend? Looking for us to kind of find some support somewhere in here pretty soon, and then for volatility to be super boring throughout the weekend. And that seems logical as we get ready to go into the end of the year. We go through the holidays, and then there's likely going to be tax loss harvesting that's going to be happening here at the end, which is where people are going to be selling their assets to try to take the losses on paper in order to reduce their tax obligations for next year. And if we can hold here, if we can reduce the volatility and start calming ourselves down for a little bit, it looks like we have the potential to have 2023 jumpstart with a bang. And the story is the same over here for Bitcoin. So give us some reduced volatility in here, Bitcoin. Give us that ABC. And then, hey, we might start the new year off really great. So throughout the weekend, that's what I'm looking for here in the crypto market. I'm looking for things to just tame themselves at this point. Still okay to come down deeper in here, but I just don't want to see that November 28th low get taken out. I'd be okay with us getting there eventually, but I'd like to see like accumulation actually happening here at these levels right now. So that's what we're looking for. Looking for boring action. And the more boring, the more better. Means prices are becoming stable. We're building a floor, and that's good. So we'll keep this one really brief because it's really simple. Just we expected the pullback. We got the pullback. Now we want to see it just really dry up. Trying to get this video out a little bit earlier today because I am working on getting my CHL this week, and I have somewhere I have to be in 2 hours from now. Yesterday, I did post another write-up over here on the Blockchain Backer newsletter. This is a premium newsletter. It is a subscription newsletter, but in this one, we went all through the DXY, comparing what is happening right now as we've seen this big reversal happen in the DXY and what happened throughout history and how it's behaving differently from history. So we'll touch on that throughout the YouTube channel. We've already kind of touched on it a little bit, but this is like a massive deep dive into the relationship of DXY, or the US dollar currency index, and the cryptocurrency market. It does include an 18-minute audio voiceover, so I did record that myself, but it's super chart heavy. So for those who are subscribed, I'd probably follow along rather than just listening because there's so many charts in here. Also, with all the chaos of the market, I haven't been talking much about the Blockchain Backer 702 NFT collection in here. Kind of just focused really on the market as we went through all of this. Like, what perfect time. You launch this thing 5 days before FTX collapses. I think, when we did the original launch, and then obviously it was so busy, it broke everything. And then it was down for several days and then went back up. And then it was just like 3 days later that the FTX collapse happened. So just like wild timing for this to happen. But I'm going to start bringing this back up again. You can check this out at onxrp.com. I do have a link in the description of this video. If you're on their website at onxrp.com, you just go to NFT Marketplace. Click up here on this little arrow. You'll see the Xpunks. You'll see the Bearable Bulls. Then you'll see Blockchain Backer. Hit Explore. And then right here, Mint on Launchpad. And then you can see which ones are still available. Several of them are sold out, like the event, the 702 battle. And may the fib be with you. But there's some here that are still like 50, 60% sold out, like Moonchill, Navigating the Bear Market, Private Backer, the Monument, and the Tinfoil Hat. And then the Golden Combo, which hit or miss there, whether or not people like that one, but still available. But I saw this stat over here that 1,110 people own a Blockchain Backer NFT. And that is quite humbling. If you look at all of the stats of all the different NFTs out there and how consolidated a lot of these things are, and how many people own it, puts Blockchain Backer NFTs in one of the top spots for total number of actual people in it. So that's pretty humbling. So thank you guys for the support. I hope you guys like this art collection. You can check it out here at OnXRP. And of course, lots of appreciation to those who own the whole collection. I know there are people, I've met people who have the whole collection. Thank you so much. But all right, guys, that's going to be it for this one. Keeping it pretty brief today, just because I have somewhere I have to be. I got a slight headache too, but whatever. I'll take some ibuprofen and work through it. But we got what we were expecting in the market to get back to the top of the range, then to get rejected off that range. Now, the next phase that we look for, boring. And that would be great. So just to completely hold itself throughout the rest of the day after a super volatile week, see some buyers step in right here and just calm things down. That's what we're looking for. It's what I'm looking for. And I'll be monitoring it, of course, throughout the entire weekend. On Sunday, I do plan on doing a live stream over here and on the YouTube channel On the Chain with Chip and Jeff. So I'll tweet about that Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening. So it'll be kind of like a night thing, getting ready to start next week. Otherwise, I'll be over here on Twitter throughout the weekend posting charts if anything crazy ends up happening. But hopefully nothing crazy and it actually just pauses here. So, all right, guys, I hope that you have a wonderful weekend. We made it through the week. I remember saying at the beginning of the week, like on Monday, being like, hey, like this is probably our last day of like calm. And then it's going to be volatile throughout the whole week. And by the time we get to the end of the week, we'll all be exhausted. So how are you doing? Did you make it okay? I hope so. Hopefully that was it for all the crazy volatility and we just calmed down. But I'll be over here on Twitter if things do ramp up in either direction. So follow me on Twitter at BCBacker. Otherwise, have a wonderful weekend. Thank you so much for watching. If you could, please like this video and give it a thumbs up. It really helps the channel. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified of when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment advice and I am not a financial advisor. But if you ever need a pick-me-up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Have a good one.